Everyone's attention, please. The date today is May 15, 2017. The time is 5:30 p.m. This is the meeting of the Paris City Council, and I'm going to call the meeting to order. As usual, we will start our meeting with invocation by Mr. Anderson, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Ms. Lancaster. If I can have everyone please stand.
May we pray? Heavenly Father, we come tonight thanking you for all your many blessings. Father, you've blessed this nation, this state, and this city, Father, with so much. And we just thank you, Father, for these men and women that serve our city, Father, on the city council. We just ask that you would continue to guide and direct them, give them a spirit of wisdom and understanding that they might conduct the city business, Father, it needs to be done. Again, Father, we pray for our nation that you would be with us, and we would acknowledge you in all that we do and receive. For we ask it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Next item on the agenda is the Citizens Forum. Persons desiring to address the council must limit their presentation to no more than 2 minutes. Unless the item is posted on the agenda, the Texas Open Meeting Act prohibits the council from responding to any comments other than to refer the matter to a future agenda, to an existing policy, or a staff person with specific factual information. Claims against the city, council members, or employees, as well as individual personnel appeals are not appropriate for the Citizens Forum. The Citizens Forum is now open. If you want to address the council, please come forward, write your name and address for the record. Ms. Lancaster, are you addressing?
I am.
Okay.
Thank you, Council. My name is Carol Huffnagel, and Dr. Hashmi, on behalf of myself and the constituents in District 7, we want to thank you for your time, your dedication, and your sacrifice to try to improve our city and make things better for the citizens of Paris. And I want to thank all of you. It's a thankless job. It's a time-consuming job. And if you do the job, it takes a lot of dedication and study. So thank you very much, and thanks to all the council members. Good luck to you also, Mr. Frierson.
Thank you very much, Ms. Huffnagel.
I'm Tim Bullock, 4025 Dawn Drive, Paris, Texas. As a member of the Airport Advisory Board, I just want to say thanks to John and all the crew with the city, and Ken Higdon and the Chamber of Commerce for putting on another great air show this year. Mr. Mayor, thank you for your service.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm Sue Lancaster, and I'm presently pro tem for the city of Paris, and I want to thank the council for letting me lead the pledge for nearly 5 years, and I have found it a great honor to serve, and hopefully whoever gets that position again will enjoy it as much as I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lancaster.
Hi, Council. I'm Sherry Bedford with the City of Paris Main Street. I'm here to invite you to a property tour of our downtown historic buildings on Saturday, May 20th. Next Saturday. May is Preservation Month across the nation, and we're very excited about being a part of a launch of a new website to drive developers and real estate brokers to historic properties across the state. Downtown TX was launched at the 1st of May by the Texas Historical Commission, and Paris got to be a part of the initial launch. And if you have some time, we'd like for you to visit our link, downtowntx.org, and also come and see our vacant properties and underutilized properties in a tour on Saturday, the 17th. It's open to the public, and the buildings will be open from 11 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And the property tour will begin at the People's Bank on 35 South Plaza.
Thank you, Ms. Bedford. If nobody else wants to address the council, the consent agenda is, the Citizens Forum is now closed. Next item on the agenda is proclamation recognizing Dillon's drivers. Where is Ronnie and Vicky? Can I ask Mr. and Mrs. Ballard to come forward if they're here? Ronnie and Vicky Ballard form a designated drivers program in Paris, Texas, following the tragic death of their son, Dillon. Dillon's driver's mission is designed to help avoid future alcohol and drug-related tragedies and facilitate a safer community. Dillon's driver has dozens of volunteers who provide free rides to Paris citizens of all ages on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights. Dillon's driver provides a safe and reliable service within the Lamar County, Texas, having provided over 10,000 free, non-judgmental, and confidential rides to individuals since December 2011, who were rendered incapable or lacked access to safe transportations. Dillon's driver has been presented several awards, including the Survivor Overcomer Award, Driving Concerns Award for outstanding commitment to promotion of safety on roadways from National Safety Council, and a Volunteerism and Commitment Award from Safeco Insurance. Now, therefore, I, A.J. Hashmi, Mayor, City of Paris, Texas, by authority vested in me, do hereby, on behalf of the citizens of Paris, recognize the service to our community for Dillon's drivers. Next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Any of the council members have any questions, concerns on the consent agenda? Ms. Lancaster.
I'd like to have number 7 explained a little bit to me. I'm not real clear on it.
Who wants to do that?
Our attorney is here. Tracy, if you'd come up, and Tracy Pounders has been doing our tax properties for several years now. And these
Thank
guys
you.
can explain it all.
Tracy Pounders, Pounders Law Firm, 38 First Street Northeast, just around the corner.
Well, I just want to commend you on the progressing. Before you came on, that was an area that just wasn't handled very well. And
Sorry.
and I appreciate you moving forward with those properties. So thank you.
It is a pleasure, and thank you so much.
That's a great job, Mr. Pounders. I don't know the exact number of properties sold already, but I think there are a lot. And I think forever we had a huge number and nothing was moving, and suddenly you came over and a lot has moved, so.
Yeah, it's
Thank
cleaned
you
up
so much. Yes,
drastically.
we started with a pool of about 900 properties. We've got that now down to about 700. We had
Fantastic.
200 struck-off properties, and we've gotten that down now to about 108.
Thank
So
you.
we're making progress. We're making progress, and
Well,
thank
that's a
you
lot
so
of progress.
He's even opened an office here in town, so.
Yes, yes, just around the corner. No, thank you. It is an honor to serve the city of Paris, and it is a pleasure to do these for you. Thank you so much for
you.
your support.
And I think there was a lot of enthusiasm last time I went to the courthouse steps. There were a lot of people.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our first tax sale that we had back 4 years ago, we had 5 buyers come to that sale. This last sale, we had over 70
Yeah.
people. We may actually have to change locations. They're getting so
Well, I
popular.
actually, not this time, did buy property that way, and I recommend it. It's a very painless, wonderful experience.
Well, thank you so
And we
much.
get those properties back on the tax rolls.
Well, thank you. And if any of you, the council members and our new council members coming in, have any questions at all about the collection of the delinquent property taxes or how we're trying to get these properties back into the hands of people that will take care of them and pay taxes on them, feel free to get in touch with me. I'm very happy to meet with you anytime you'd like to walk you through that.
Well,
Thank you so much.
We rehabbed both of those properties, and I'm pleased to say that they're an asset to the, that's okay, I get it. An asset to the area instead of an eyesore.
Well, thank you. That is the goal. That is the goal. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Mr. Pounders, actually, I do have one quick question. And that is that, is there, when we sell them, do we make them aware that what they have to do with the property in a time frame? Or is that not been one of the things that, I mean, the last thing you want is for somebody else to acquire the property and do nothing with it for a long period of time?
Yes, when we put these up for public sale, we cannot put any restrictions on what can be done with the property. They just have to be sold. Now, with these resale properties, we've begun to place a restriction on them. They have to be kept clean, and the taxes have to be paid on time for a 2-year period on these properties on that. There's a constitutional issue, it's Texas state constitution, not the U.S. Constitution, but a constitutional issue that touches upon and addresses, but it's also the right thing. We don't want to sell it and just have it immediately get trashed out and go delinquent. That has happened. I know of several
happened.
instances where people have bought the tax foreclosed properties and then have never paid the taxes, and immediately the grass grows up. So that does happen, and that's why we have addressed that. We can't address it in the public sales, but we can on these private sales, and we do.
Good.
Thank you. And I think, hopefully I'm not going too much off this, but Mr. Gladfelter actually in one of the meetings had a question that the police office was sold and there was no movement. So just to answer his question, since I've looked into it, the person who bought the property has spent about $90,000 to clear it of asbestos. They have done an asbestos abatement there. I don't know what his future plans are because he wasn't willing to talk. But he has spent about $90,000, and he was talking something about some VA or something coming. I do not know the answer to it. But we did ask him, and he has spent money, and that building is asbestos abated.
Yep.
Any other questions? Thank you so much.
All right, I'll take yeah,
Motion,
sorry.
just a motion to accept the consent agenda.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? No. Okay, we move on to the regular agenda. The first item is presentation by myself. And it's a very long presentation, so we'll be spending quite the evening. So hopefully, Mr. Frierson, there are no games tonight.
I mean, if you just want me to go now, that's fine.
I've really just written a few things and would like to read them. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the council individually and collectively to make my life easy on the council and for supporting me wholeheartedly in all of our endeavors as a council. Collectively, we were able to accomplish quite a few things, and I'm just going to say a few of them. We started with the Crepe Myrtle project, then we went over to dilapidated homes, brought the home loan improvement project, bought new fire trucks, etc., hired a new city manager, for our city, brought down some of the overheads in our EDC, did the infrastructure bond project, bought the K9 unit to our police department and did electronic agendas, et cetera, et cetera. But one thing must remember over here, and that is that it was not the doing of any one person. I think it had council support from all the council members, so really the credit goes to the entire council for supporting these issues, because as individual council members, I don't think any one of us would have accomplished it had it not been for the remainder of the council. So the other thing which I would like to say is that while it is important to have support on the council, which I think I got quite a bit of support, it is equally important to have opposition on the council, because the opposition keeps us in line, and sometimes even opposing views come up with very good suggestions. So following that, I have followed Mr. Frierson's advice of putting the street bond on the ballot. I'm very happy and proud to say that it was a successful thing, but I think it was a good idea. I think it was very good that we had participation from our community to do that. Next, I would like to take a little opportunity to talk about all of us council members, so if people don't mind. I'd first like to start by thanking Ms. Lancaster. Ms. Lancaster has been a big, rock hard supporter, and everyone thought that she did whatever I asked her to do. The only thing is that people who know her would know very clearly that she's her own self, and unless she felt very strongly about something, she would not go along with me on that, and I think her best interest lied in the fact that whatever was best in the city's best interest is what she did. So for all times to come in future, I don't want anyone to think that we discussed matters or that she just voted because she's a good friend. She still is a good friend, but the support didn't come because she was a good friend. I think the support came because I think she was for the city in those subjects. Mr. Jenkins started the council by being shy on the council to begin with, but he has matured to be a very fine council member, means very well for the city, and I think he's a fine young man, is a great role model for our African-American community, I think. Mr. Trinado and I have been on the council for about a year now together, and Mr. Trinado is very enthusiastic, and I'm sure he'll remain very passionate about the street project. Dr. Clifford worked very hard. He worked very hard on his campaign, and it paid off. I think Dr. Clifford did a tremendous amount of research on all the aspects of the subjects that we used to discuss in the council. And though I think as each of our council members, I'd say that we all take responsibility for the approval of the bond project, but Dr. Clifford really found the shortfalls in our projects and and really the city and all of us owe him a great deal for providing the scrutiny of the projects. Mr. Frierson and I have had disagreements throughout, but I do want to say one thing, and that is that there were times when me and him have agreed as well. But at no time did I ever doubt in my mind that he meant well for the city. Our approaches to different problems may be different, but that does not make either one of us right or wrong. I think we both have our own views, and we had different ways of doing things. So appreciate his tremendous amount of service to the council. Ms. Drake, I've always enjoyed her company. Now, that doesn't mean that I and she agree on all subjects, but we agree to disagree. So I do want to say one thing, and I think she's a great asset, not only for the council, but I think for the city in future. And I certainly hope that after you get done with your council duties, that you continue to serve this community and in other elected positions, and you can count on my support. I want to thank my office staff who've been very, very helpful, Kristen, Stacy, and everybody else. Now, Mr. Godwin. Mr. Godwin and I had a rocky start, but as time has gone by, we have gotten to understand each other quite well, and I have nothing but praises for him. And part of the reason is that because he has to deal with 7 members with their idiosyncrasies. You have performed the job well, and obviously there are certain people who might not be completely happy with you in the community, but we, as the council, fully realize that you tried your best to help them out, but you're bound by the legal things that you have to follow. Janice has been absolutely outstanding, and I think Janice should be given a raise.
It's been 6 years, and you still haven't learned not to get involved in personnel issues.
Now, Mr. Godwin, I do want to say one thing. You should be I wrote it down so that I don't forget anything. You should be very happy that I'm not taking her with me to my office as one of my own employees, though I must say the thought did cross my mind multiple times. Now, I want to thank Mr. Anderson, and I have a little statement for him. And I want to thank Mr. Anderson. He's always found me money to spend on our city projects. However, for the future council members, just so that you know, he's a little tight. But he always has some money stashed away somewhere where we don't know where it is, but it's there. He finds it when we really need it, without causing any disruption in city work. And believe it or not, I've tried hard to look where that stash was, but haven't been able to find it. But he is an absolutely outstanding finance director. I'm going to thank all of the senior city staff and the individual city employees. Ms. Harris has been with us. She's done an excellent job. Mr. Frussi, Mr. McDaniels, our police chief, our fire chief, Carla, our city manager, Kent Klinkerman, the public works director, and the fire marshal, who I sometimes don't agree with, but he's still done a fine job. And I'm very thankful to all of you and proud of the fact that you make our city a safe and a better place to live. I also want to thank some of the council members who are actually not here, but were part of the bond project, etc. Dr. Grossnickel, Mr. Pickle, Mr. Plata, Mr. McCarthy for their services. 1 second. Finally, there are a few people in the community that I want to recognize. Mr. Charles Richards, who actually wrote a lot of things when I first got on the council. He used to make a lot of spelling mistakes. So every night I had to call him and correct his spelling errors. And he'd change them on the computer and then call me back to find out where he couldn't find those errors, but they were there. Now, I do have some other things that I want to say. Ms. Haygood, in spite of her difficulty in walking and everything, came to the council meetings and provided us support, provided us direction, and that's greatly, greatly appreciated. Then we have those people in the communities whose passion, support, and at time criticism brought back the most important achievement of this council, and that was the empowerment of our citizens. Mr. Flowers, Mrs. Huffnagel, Ms. Mosley, Ms. Spencer, Mr. A.D. Thompson, John Fuston, Mr. Dalrymple, Brenda Cherry, and last but not the least, Mr. Gladfelter. His comments may be pointed and sharp, but they've had a lot of meaning for us. So thank you all, and Ms. Lancaster runs the meeting from now. Oh, we have another agenda item?
We have one.
Okay, well, I guess I'm running the meeting still.
You can't get away that quick.
Okay. Item number 9 is discuss and act on a resolution canvassing the results of the bond election held on May 6th. Janice.
Okay. On February 13th, the City Council ordered a GO bond election for voters to consider propositions for roads and parks. On May the 6th, proposition number 1 passed for issuance of $9,500,000 tax bonds for streets and roads, and proposition 2 passed for $500,000 tax bonds for parks. Just need approval.
Okay. Motion to approve?
I make a motion, we approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? No. All right, item number 10 is discuss and act on a resolution acknowledging the results of prior council action declaring candidates as elected to the office for District 457 as a result of having unopposed for election to the office, declaring the terms of the office, making other findings and provisions related to the subject, and providing an effective date.
On February the 22nd, I issued certificate of unopposed status for Districts 4, 5, and 7. So they were deemed elected to office. And I just need approval on the resolution.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nobody opposed? Thank you, Ms. Lancaster, all yours.
All right, I'm opening the floor for nominations.
I think we're good.
We gotta swear in the new
I'm
ones.
sorry,
You do 11?
11. Recognition of outgoing council members for their service.
Sue, can I say something real quick?
Surely.
Okay, thank you very much. I just wanted to take a minute, and it won't take that long. I really didn't, I'm not very good at this, so we'll just keep it short and simple. But to all of you, thank you. I've been asked a lot about this on what my time on the council has been like, and the word that keeps coming up is rewarding. So it's been some up, some down, but always interesting and learning, and without all of you and your support, I couldn't have done it. So thank you. I did want to say just really quick to the staff and to all the people, thank you so much. You have been a tremendous resource to me. Good friends, good information, good times. There have been long meetings, but I've enjoyed it all the way around. So, and to the council as they move forward, first and foremost, good luck. You're going to need it. 6 years is a long time, but it's time for me to go. I encourage you, please collaborate. Please talk about things. Please share ideas, and please come to consensus. It's always, the answer is always somewhere in the middle. You just have to find it together. So I don't want to be long-winded, and I appreciate you indulging me, but thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thanks. So.
Thank you, man.
We're gonna have
And
anybody poke at now.
It'll be cold
Poke
now.
out.
Thank you.
And now to move on to opening the floor for nominations for the office of mayor of the city.
Right quick, however.
Bishops. 11 and 12 first.
Oh,
We
sorry.
do have some wonderful,
Okay.
beautiful plaques.
Oh, party gifts, I like it.
Oh,
For
okay.
6 years of service,
Thank you so much.
and we thank you very much for what you've done for the community, both of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
How about a round of applause, maybe?
We're going to skip one spot and go to issuance of certificate of election, administer statement of elected officers to council members, and administer oath of office to newly elected council members.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I don't mind moving it.
I just need to, Dr. Clifford and Ms. Portugal and Ms. Knox will meet me down front. Raise your right hand, please. I, Paul Portugal, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties office of city council member of the city of Paris, state of Texas, and will to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and the laws of the United States and of this state and the charter and ordinances of this city. And I further solemnly swear that I have not directly nor indirectly paid, offered, or promised to pay, contributed, nor promised to contribute any money or valuable any public office or employment as a reward for the giving or withholding a vote at the election at which I was elected. So help me God. So help me God. Thank you. Congratulations.
Don't you need to come up here? You need to come up here.
You had come to work.
No seat.
All right, we're not moving anything else, are we?
No, we're good. You're gonna come to 13 now.
Okay. Now we're moving to item 13, election of city council of mayor and mayor pro tem to serve the city of Paris for the next year. All right. First, I'm going to open the floor for nominations for the office of mayor of the city of Paris. Do I have any nominations?
I'd like to nominate Steve Clifford for the office of mayor.
Okay.
I second
Dr.
that.
Clifford?
I
We don't-
second it.
We don't necessarily
Oh,
have
we
to
don't
have
need
a
a second,
second, but
okay.
do we have any other nominations? All right, the nominations cease, and we would like to take a show of hands. Even though it's unanimous, it looks like our new mayor is Dr. Steve Clifford.
Right.
Congratulations.
I think at this point, we turn this over to the new mayor.
All right.
Okay. Well, the next item would be the election of the mayor pro tem, and I'll open the floor for nominations.
I'd like to nominate Cleon Drake,
Cleon Drake.
pro tem.
Right?
I'd like to nominate Paula Portugal.
Okay. Any other nominations? Okay, the first nomination was Cleon. Those in favor, raise your hand.
I vote for myself.
Okay, we have a new mayor pro tem. And the next item of business is receive bids, award a contract to the lowest responsible bidder, Harris Walker and Harper, in the amount of $966,425.80 for the Flow Equalization Basin Bar Street project. I wanted to have a little discussion. Go ahead and present the information about this, please.
Yes, sir. First of all, congratulations, Mayor Clifford. Congratulations, Councilwoman Portugal and Councilwoman Knox. And congratulations, Mayor Pro Tem, Mr. A. So, in January of 2016, I had brought to council a comprehensive rehabilitation project, engineering project for the wastewater treatment plant. At that time, council had given me direction to not go with another plan, but to actually have a project in mind. So that's exactly what staff did. We went back. We discussed it at House. We prioritized the components of the wastewater treatment plant that needed the most work right now. And the bar screen headworks project at the Flow Equalization Basin received top priority. So at that time, we contracted with Hayter Engineering, and Hayter had actually designed a bar screen for the Flow Equalization Basin in 1999. So rather than go with another engineering firm and start from scratch, Hayter Engineering was able to bring those 1990 plans up to date based on current state regulations. And the estimate that they provided for this project at that time, or after they completed updating, was about $1.3 million, Mike, if I'm correct. So then we advertised for bids. The unfortunate part of that is we only received 2 bidders for this project. And Mr. Tibbetts with Hayter has additional information on there. But it was published in the Paris News on February the 26th and March the 5th. Hayter actually reached out to the contractors that had purchased plans in anticipation of submitting bids for this project. And the 2 primary reasons that they received for not going ahead and submitting bids, even though they did purchase the plans, was based on they had exhausted their bond capacity, and also that they were just too busy. So even though they had taken the steps to purchase the plans to possibly submit a bid, they chose not to based on those 2 reasons. So we opened bids on, excuse me, on April the 27th, and Harrison Walker and Harper submitted the low bid. And it is our recommendation to council that we accept the low bid for this project.
Okay, I had a couple of questions. Where all was this advertised?
Mike has a detailed list.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'd like to hear that.
Sure. And this is,
2
this is
bids,
Mike Tibbetts, Hayter Engineering.
2 bids for $1 million project. I'd like to have seen 3 or 4. It's my main problem. I really would, obviously we all would have liked to have seen that. But go ahead.
Yes, sir. My name's Mike Tibbetts. I'm Vice President with Hayter Engineering. I share your concern about having two bids on this project. We did send our notices to Construct Connect, McGraw-Hill Dodge, North Texas Construction Report, and the U.S. Department of Commerce Minority Business Center. It's normal that we would send these out, but also we had a list of 34 contractors that specialize in this type of work. So we sent hard copies via regular mail that advertised the project, telling them what was going on. And then about 2 weeks before the contract for the bid opening was due, I would normally be getting a lot of questions from contractors that were asking. Well, I wasn't getting many, so I became concerned. And like Doug said, I called the contractors that had bought plans and found that only 2 of them were bidding. So I called 16 of the contractors myself and asked them, I tried to generate interest in the job, but it only resulted in 2. They said the job was either too big, too small, but mostly their bonding capacity was used up. Some of them said their contractors, their crews were in other parts of the state. However, like Doug said, our estimate was about $1.3 million. The bids came in very close to that. The bids were only less than 8% apart, so they were looking at the same project, okay? I don't believe if we go out for bids again, I don't believe that we'll get any better numbers. We'll be pushing the job about 2.5 months further towards wet and cooler conditions. We're gonna have a pit dug about 25 feet in the ground for this pump station wet well. It's gonna be wet, and if we move towards a wetter part of the year, I don't believe that the contractor's gonna give us any better numbers. So my recommendation is the same as Doug's. I think that the contractor is a good contractor. The references checked out, and the 2 bids were close together, and they were close to the bid that we thought it was going to be. So I think this is going to be a good project, and my recommendation is the same as Doug's.
Well, I did a little research on my own on websites across the state of Texas. I came upon the North American Procurement Council. Do you ever advertise on that? Have you ever? It's another website to advertise these bids. I don't guess we advertised on that?
No, sir.
That's a free one. It would have taken 10 minutes to do that. There's another one called the Electronic State Business Daily. I even printed out a wastewater improvement for $500,000 that they advertised on that free of charge. I just think we should advertise these bids very well, and I know we need the bar screen. I know it's imminent. I know we need it, and we need to get going on it. But on the other hand, I don't like taking a bid with 2 bids. I got a problem with that. I'd like to see at least 3, preferably 4. And that's my inclination on this. I'll open up for the council for discussion. Let's just start off here with Cleon.
So you advertised for how many, what, it sounded like 5 or 6 different places or more?
Well, we sent notices to these 4 contractors' clearinghouses. We also advertised in the Paris News for 2 weeks. And then I call contractors that typically bid on this type of work on our projects.
Okay.
Contractors that I've personally worked with before that know our type of work, and
Is this
we still
normal
want
this
it to-
time of year, like for their bonds to be out?
It's not normal for this time of year. It's more like a 2 or 3 year cycle.
Okay.
And you'll find at times in the cycle, the contractors will be very busy and their bonding capacities are used up. In a few months, that will start to change. And then in maybe in a year and a half or so, it'll bottom out and you may be covered up with bids.
So what,
But right now, it appears that contractors have a lot of work to do, and that's why we only got 2 bids.
Do we know how long before the contractors, any idea how long before they will not be over bonded so they could bid on it? Did they give you any indication of that? Are we talking a few weeks, a few months?
I only had one contractor that said, if you'll postpone it, I might bid it. Okay, that was no promise. That wasn't very heartening to hear that, and but no. And this may also depend on weather. If we have good, hot, dry weather all summer, they may free up some of their bonding capacity. If we get more rain than is expected, they may not be able to complete some of that work, and so their bonding capacity will still remain pretty well used up.
Hop around here, Ms. Portugal, you have any?
I was just curious if, when we do put those bids out, is there a safety record plan along with that, so that we know that the bids that we're getting are from reputable companies that got a good record?
Well, one thing that is a de facto safety net is we require a payment and a performance bond. And the insurance company will look at their record, how much capacity they have, do they do this type of work, how long have they been doing this work, what are their personnel issues, and are their personnel, have they been there a long time, are they experienced, and they will issue a performance bond for that. And that means the insurance company is taking that on their shoulders. So that's our de facto safety net.
Good. Thank you, Mr. Trevito.
Ms. Lancaster, any questions?
I hesitate to make such a large bond recommendation with only 2 bids. I mean, that does bother me, and I understand the problems, but I'd like to see more bids on this.
Well, I agree. We would like to see more bids also. I would be more concerned, though, if the bids were very far apart and if the bids were much further over our estimate of what it should have been. However, it's a local contractor that has bid close to what we thought it should have been, and I would be surprised if he bids the job again because his number is public knowledge now. He may want to bid it again, but it won't be the same number, I'll bet. That's been our experience in the past.
Mr. Jenkins?
Yeah, I see what you're saying also, and Mr. Clifford has a good point also. I think I'd like to see more, maybe the people that were bidding the last time, maybe freed up some more people so they can maybe take a chance in doing it again.
Mr. Tornado?
Well, for this amount, I would just like to see some more bidders also, and y'all check into that, and I think it give you some ideas about the other person that you've seen on the internet.
I mean, there's a lot of places that these things can be listed that we haven't, that are free and easy, and I don't know whether it would help or not. I mean, maybe I don't know, but I just thought, well, gosh, when I first started researching this, for all I knew, it was just in the Paris News. I was very pleased to hear that you'd at least reached out to some other country, because not everybody subscribes to the Paris News. But I think the more publicity, the better, and I see no reason not to advertise as widely as possible, especially on free websites that are designed for this very purpose. And that's what I'd like to see. Ms. Knox?
Yes. I would concur with what you said about the additional advertising. I really like the fact that we had a local contractor bid on it. I really appreciate that. And I understand that there's a risk at them not bidding again if we rebid this, but we might want to consider that next
I have
time.
a question. If we go out for rebids and these two don't bid again and we don't get any other bids, what do we do?
Well, you can wait another 6 months and see if the bonding capacities of these contractors has changed. And then, of course, that means Doug has to deal with the problems that it's causing until then. But you'll just wait till another part of the cycle until the, maybe it bottoms out or gets better conditions.
I have a question. When this was in the budget, gosh, I think in July was when you presented it, and why now? I mean, why not even before now? What was the delay to get us to the bidding process in April? I'm just curious.
I can answer that.
Now, you're asking why we didn't go out for bids until April?
Obviously, it's pretty
Well,
important.
Well, when council gave us direction in January of 2016 that they didn't want another plan, they didn't want a comprehensive project, and we were tasked with bringing back individual projects that needed the most priority, that's when we contracted with Hayter Engineering that already had a design for the Bar Screen project in place. Well, that was 1999. Again, I need to point that out. So they had to bring it up to date to 2016, 2017 standards, make sure the TCEQ regulations had not changed and that sort of thing. So that's why it took that long to bring the plans up to current regulations and then prepare the bid packet documents, advertise for bids, and then open bids. So that's why it took so long.
Okay. Is there any discussion on this item?
Mr. Mayor, if I could just comment, and I'm not trying to change anybody's minds, but just kind of for, I guess, future reference as we deal with bids, and you always want to get as many bids as you can, and then when you don't, it's disappointing, and when you approve a contract, when you only got one sometimes or two, it makes you wonder, well, maybe we didn't get the best deal possible. So I get that, and I respect that, and if that's what you choose to do tonight, I understand, and we'll proceed. But again, kind of just for future reference purposes, I just want to say this about that. The reason you want more bids, other than it just feels good and sounds good, is think about the real reason. We want the lowest possible price we can get. So the question needs to be not how many bids we get, even though that's the obvious thing, is do we think this is the best price, best reasonable price we're going to get from a comparable vendor? Our utilities director, our engineer, and me too, we all agree that this is a good price from a reputable vendor. And so I'd like to have 3 or 4 more bids. I think those bids would be 1.1 or 1.3 and 1.2, so that wouldn't really change anything. And maybe we'd get one for 900 and something, a smaller number, but keep in mind too that local vendors on a project this size, although it's Dr. Clifford, you and I talked about this real briefly this afternoon. For Paris, $1 million is a big contract. For contractors, it's not that big of a deal. So there's a real economy of scale for a local vendor. And HWH, of course, is a local vendor for them to be able to have a lower price. So anyway, again, not trying to beat this to death and not trying to get anybody to change their minds. I kind of see how this is going, and that's fine. But just for future reference, again, please keep in mind what we're after is the lowest, best price from a reputable vendor. And you don't ever know that because it's an estimate. You base it on your budget and you base it on the engineer's estimate. Engineers aren't always right, Mike. So we think this is a good bid. We may very well be wrong. If you do reject these bids, man, I'm going to keep my fingers crossed it comes back for $800,000 because every little bit we can save, we need to save. So I agree with that, absolutely. I understand where you're coming from.
Okay. Well, I'd like to make a motion that we reject the bid, put it back out for additional bids, and after a significant increase in publicity for the bids across any and all websites you can find that are reputable, that are typically done for this, and see how we do. And on all future projects, I'd like to do as much publicity as we possibly can. So I'd like to make a motion that we reject the bids and put it out for bids a second time.
I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Okay. Next item is discuss and act on an ordinance approving a negotiated settlement between the Atmos City Steering Committee and Atmos Energy Corp. Mid-City Division regarding the company's 2017 rate review mechanism filings, declaring existing rates to be unreasonable, adopting tariffs that reflect rate adjustments consistent with negotiated settlement, finding the rates to be set by the settlement tariffs to be just and reasonable and in the public interest, requiring reconciliation and rate adjustments if federal income tax rates change, terminating the RRM process for 2018 pending renegotiation of RRM terms and conditions, requiring the company to reimburse ACSC's reasonable rate-making expenses, determining that this ordinance was passed in accordance with the requirements of the Texas Open Meetings Act, adopting a savings clause, a severability clause, a repealer clause, declaring an effective date, and requiring delivery of this ordinance to the company and the ACSC's legal counsel. And I certainly hope this is the longest agenda item that I ever have to read. Gene, explain this to us.
It won't take me that long to explain it. Back in March 1st, Atmos requested a rate increase, and that was referred to the Atmos City Steering Committee, which is a coalition of 170 cities that was established to address rate increases for Atmos specifically. And they reviewed all the documentation that Atmos provided and negotiated with them, and were able to reduce their request by $9.4 million. We think that's a reasonable amount that they've come up with. It is certainly less than what they requested. It is also less than if we followed the state formula that's in state law. It's about 10% less than that. So we would, as staff, would recommend that the council approve this negotiated settlement.
Okay, any discussion on this? I make a motion, we approve this ordinance.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, and consider and approve future events for city council and city staff. Anybody? Motion for adjournment?
I make
Second.
Second.
We're done.